Hello and good morning, Gary Champion, Psychic Medium, once again. It's a short little video that happened because I was watching television. And at the moment, I was by myself. I don't know if Peanut was there, but Bunny had left the room. She had gone downstairs, I think. And I had this conversation with my father, who's been dead since 1988. And she came up just at the time I was having that connection. What else can you call it? Connection. And I asked her to give me a piece of paper and an ink pen. She did, and I wrote down kind of what it was about, thinking I might make a video about it. The truth is, no one knows anything about death. We don't know anything about it. You're here, you're there. If you're there, you don't really discuss what's here, that with people who are here. Anyway, that's sort of what happened. I got a little insight into something, so I thought I'd pass it on. My father, and I was sitting thinking about him that um, he was a pressureless guy. He didn't do well under pressure, and I'm exactly the same. More pressure you put on me, the more screwy I get, and the sicker I get. And he was the only person working for a five-member family. There were five of us, and he was it. He was the only one that was out there working, and so the pressure was on him, and contributed to his passing uh, indirectly. But the pressure caused him to do things which cut his life short. And I was lucky in the kind of beginning of my work time to discover that I didn't work well with other people, and it created a lot of pressure that I just wasn't willing to put up with. So I've been self-employed all my working life, except for I think 6 years, not including part-time jobs and stuff like that, but regular work days, a real job. I've been self-employed since '89. Some of you haven't been alive that long. Anyway, I was sort of, I guess, having a conversation with him, and I don't do that. I don't have conversations with people who have passed. I listen, and when they tell me something, I pass it on. But it's not really a conversation. I guess it could be, but it requires a different brain set. If I'm listening, um, I'm a receiver. And in order to transmit and ask questions, I have to sort of reverse something in my brain, and it doesn't happen instantly. And then you switch back to the other part, and it's just too confusing. So I don't usually ask questions. I don't want to know. Not interested. Whatever I need to know, they'll tell me, and I'll pass that along. Hopefully, it helps. Anyway, life was hard on him because of who he was. He was a guy that didn't do pressure well, and he had a lot of pressure on him. And just sort of having a little conversation about him, and he said there's pressure on the other side too. That, ooh, this is interesting. I never heard of that. I thought you passed over and, well, it's not like in the comic books where you're sitting on a cloud playing a harp as an angel. That's not what. Well, we don't really know what the structure is over there. I've never been told anything, probably because I don't need to know. I guess I'll get there soon enough, and I'm there. I'll see it, but it's not something I need to know before I go. No one ever talks about it. But he said there's pressure on the other side, but it's different and doesn't act on you the way it does here. Okay, so yeah, and then now I'm hearing something that said it's pressure you put on yourself over there. No one's over there cracking a whip saying you got to make more toys, like in Santa's workshop. You have to get those uh, trains out by Friday because with inspectors coming on Monday, and then we've got to work on these toy soldiers. No, it's not like that. I think it's the pressure that you put on yourself to improve, to change the things you don't like about yourself. There's an improvement period time where all the pressures that build up on you and the things that you do that you wish you hadn't done, all these negative things fall away. And that's the pressure to eliminate the things that have changed your life and made it worse. And sometimes even if you know you're doing it, you can't stop doing it. If you're doing something that's harmful to you or other people, and it's the road you're on, sometimes you're on it and you can't change it. Well, this is the time to do that, to unburden yourself of uh, emotional things inflicted on you while you're here. Not interesting. That's sort of what they're saying, but it's the words were a little different and they got jumbled. I'm not sure. You're acting in your own best interest, they're saying. This is a time to clean yourself up, to go to rehab, and find out the things that maybe you couldn't change them when you were here because of the situation. He had to work long hours. He had to do this. He had to do that because he was the sole provider for 5 people, and you can change that. Well, there are a lot of people now. It seems they have 6 kids and a wife, and they just walk away and change their name and go to Alaska. That's happening a lot right now. But he chose not to do that. He chose to hang in there and stick it out and do what he was required to do to get everybody where they needed to be, and he did that to his own detriment. He provided the money. We had a roof. We had 3 meals a day. We had clothes to wear. And he loved my mother, which is more important than anything else. I'm not sure how he felt about us, but he did love Mother a lot. So these are the things that kept him going. He couldn't wait to retire, though, at some point. He did retire earlier, but it didn't last very long. He was 64 when he died, I think, which is it's not very old. But the pressure caused him to do things that made his life short. When you pass over, it's someone saying it's a redeeming period where you're redeeming. We all start off in life knowing who we want to be. Getting there is a difficulty. You can see it over there. He wanted to be a veterinarian, and by all accounts, and I watched him work, he was quite good. I never saw him lose a patient, unless it was dead when it came in the door. That happened, with cats and things that had been poisoned and stuff. There wasn't anything he could do, but his interest in it was always growing, and even until he was near the end, he was studying things with another veterinarian I know. He was close-lipped about things like that, but he was always helping other people, which is to his credit. Things he did to himself because the situation he was in were harmful to him, and I'm sure there was no way to undo that. There just isn't. But I'm sure he's had thoughts about it and what he could have done differently in order not to do that. So I think he knew that he did what he had to do in order for everybody to get where they need to get. I think he did that quite well. Interpersonal relationships, that's a different story. But since his passing, my sister, who still lives in the town where he lived, hears all kinds of positive things about how he helped them, bailed people out, got them jobs, take them food, cut their hair. That was an odd one. But whatever he had to do to help someone he saw in need, he never talked about it. We just found out about it after he passed. So, a good man who was overburdened, and he has to work through that on the other side and sort of claim what's his, and you got to just let the rest of it go, which is part of moving on. You find that on this side, letting go of things that are harmful to you is the key to your spirituality and moving forward. Dumping the things that you shouldn't be doing, that harm other people or harm you. The things you've done in your past that you're now sorry for. You got to let that go. and let that go. And that's part of the process when you cross over, is learning to distinguish between those things that are important and those that aren't. And of course, we're born again in a blank slate. Isn't that interesting? Spirit survives. And I believe, from my standpoint, that the spirit doesn't change. My spirit's always been what it is. My daddy's spirit was what it was, and he's passed. And if he comes back again, his spirit will remain the same. And spiritually, he was good. As a human being, he did real well on that. He just shot himself in the foot, you know. But I don't know what his take would be on it, that it was worth it, or he wished he'd have done things differently. But that's what he's working through. The logistics of passing are unknown to me, but I believe that's what it's about. Redeeming is what they're saying. You don't usually get a lot of words from the other side that aren't, it's coming from somebody I don't know, or maybe it's coming from my father. Says he likes my hat, but it's about redeeming yourself in a way that works for you, because the spirit's going to remain the same. And if you come back, it's helpful if you don't make the same mistakes. I'm told this is my third time to be a medium, and I think I finally got it right. I don't know what I did the other 2 times, but it's been fun this time. And I don't believe I shot myself in the foot. But anyway, conversation with my dad last night, and that's what I gleaned from it. I thought I might pass it to you, because you don't get these insights. People who have passed do not tell you things about the other side. I don't know why. It's unknown to me too. Let's think about metaphysical stuff. It's all unknown. It's all speculation. When you get there and you say, oh, well, that's why that thing is that way. Yeah, now I get it. We don't get that over here. The aha moment really happens when you pass. Something to look forward to. I like aha moments. Anyway, it's raining here. Dog's asleep. My wife is online working. And I'm going to finish this and go eat some lunch here in a little bit and do what I'm supposed to do, which in my case has sort of been preordained. I didn't pick this. It just happened. Same with healing. It just happened. I was never a healer. Or maybe I was always a healer. I just didn't know it. You can be an idiot and not know it too. I mean, it works in all forms there until someone says, hey, you're an idiot. Then you go, I'm an idiot. Oh, I can fix that. Anyway, a little philosophy from the other side, and my father, and moments of connection that make sense. Makes sense to me anyway. In my evolution as a human being, this thing that happened last night is one of millions, I'm sure, that have happened to me. I just didn't have a forum or YouTube site to express it. And pass it along where someone can say, oh, and maybe you've had this very experience with your mother, your father, or a child you lost or something, and you just didn't realize it at the time that they're trying to tell you things. That the other side is good, but there are pressures on you that don't act on you. That was the word he used. They don't act on you like they do over here. And it's self-induced pressure to regain some footing and some normalcy as it should be. Okay, and I want to thank my nephew for this light. You can see it works great. If I turn it off, you can't hardly see me. So my nephew Christopher got this somewhere. I don't think it's expensive, and I just hung it on the wall. It works perfectly. No fear, no regret, no anger. Thanks for watching.